What is going on? I hate that camera. Wow, what is happening here? It's terrible looking. Let's fix this real fast. All right. That looks a lot better. What's going on, everybody? ABJ here from the ABJ Podcast. I know it's been a long time. You guys haven't seen me here in a minute, but we took a little time off, collected myself, had to do a little bit of mental health check, get myself back and going. But we are recording some interviews again. I'm recording the entire month, so like to kind of pull the curtain back a little bit. It is September, right? I think we're in September. Yeah, September. And I'm recording pretty much almost every day this week when it comes to interviews. I have interviews set for the entire month. I have some Truth Behind Illusions set up, some Banging Beers, some Tornado Tags. There's a whole bunch of content coming out, movie reviews, horror movie reviews. So we're going to bank a whole bunch of interviews, a whole bunch of content, and then we're going to start releasing it. You're probably, as you guys are seeing it, now will be the time we start releasing it. So these episodes aren't going to be numbered or are put in the big thumbnails or anything like that, but they will be numbered, obviously, when they get released. But yeah, so I got some new equipment, some new cameras, some new things going on for me. But I just need a little bit of a reset, a recharge, refocus on what was going on and how I want to do things for the channel. But I think we're good now. So we're gonna record a whole bunch of stuff and have it slowly released throughout the rest of the year. So this way I'm not every week struggling to get some stuff done. I have like a nice backlog full of content from people. So if you always want to be a guest, please hit me up so we can get you on the podcast right away. Please don't hit me up though if you're looking to promote something or if you have an upcoming show or something you want to do, stuff like that. Unless like we're really cool, I might slide you in sooner. But if you're just hitting me up out of random to promote your show, probably not the best way to do it. Plus, I don't really do that anyway. It's more about talking about you and your upcoming and your story and what you got going on. But yeah, so hit me up for some future content. Make sure you support myself and and my guest links below. And go grab some merchandise. I haven't sold a t-shirt in a while, so go buy an ABJ t-shirt and wear it out and take pictures of it and send it to me so I can feel good about myself. But today's episode is going to be someone who I interviewed way back in the day on the old school Interviews with Everyday People day. And they were very young and quiet and shy and just like, real like they're like, I want to do an interview. And I was like, this fucking kid, he barely talks. How am I going to do an interview with him? And he came on and we chatted and you know, I try to like, hey, go do things, chase your dreams, do what you got to do. And the fucking kid has been doing that more than I've ever seen anyone else do that, traveling all over the place, doing crazy things when it comes to music, finding his own path in a family full of musicians, and very, very proud of him. So I want to bring him in right now. I'll let them introduce themselves a little more and tell you more about their journey, and we'll have some fun here. Without further ado, let me bring in my guest, Harry Collins. What's going on, bud?
What's up?
Not happening? Much, bud. A lot less hair than the last time we've talked.
Yeah,
you know?
A lot less hair. Some facial hair this time.
Yeah, we got a beard going on. A lot has changed since you sat down on a podcast with me at the interviews at Everyday People days.
Yeah, it has. It definitely has changed a lot. I'm in a different career path, like still in the same industry, but a different path than what I was on before. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely were into like a bunch of different things at that point in time. Like you wanted to drum, you wanted to play music, you wanted to be that route. You had the stuff in your room that you were messing around with, but you were still really finding yourself. Like, did you want to be a game streamer? Did you want to be this? Like, you were really finding your hone and your niche, and then really hit the ground running when it came to producing music as well as like mixing sound for shows.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
So I am a front of house engineer for a lot of, I would say, touring musicians and also local musicians. So I work for a production company full time that handles all of that, from audio to lighting to video to pretty much just a whole realm of the industry. So we also do staging and things like that. So my hands are always in, multiple pots at once. So I mean, that's kind of just a rundown for it. I still work for myself, not as much as I used to, but I still do try to at least make time for myself to do the things that I would enjoy to do. That's kind of it. I know we're going to get more into what I do and how I started and things like that. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, let's kick it off there. How did you get into like mixing music and doing those things? I know Eddie was doing that for a little bit, right?
Yeah, so Eddie is kind of the one to get me in the position that I'm in now. So when I first started anything music wise. I was making beats and doing kind of like the musical production kind of side of things. But since then I have went a completely different path, like I said before, and I'm still kind of dabbling in that sort of say today. But mainly just making everything sound completely better and way better than it could ever.
I hate going to a show and something sounds muddy or something sounds off. And the worst is going to show with anyone in your family, because you guys have like these special ears. Like I was at a show with Billy, and Billy's like, the bass is turned
the
off.
bass ain't there.
The bass ain't there. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, listen. And I was like, I don't hear anything. He's like, look at the bass player and tell me if you can hear what. And I'm like, well, way to go. You just ruined the whole show for me now. Like he went down to the sound booth and he's like, hey, the bass, to turn your bass up a little bit. And
I had a situation with that last night. They told me to turn the bass down, and I was like, man, if I turn it down anymore, it's not gonna be there.
Yeah.
But at that point, you kind of just got to let it ride and let the people, think what they want to think.
Yeah. Now, when you do shows like this, has there been a show where, like, when you first started doing it, were you like, what were your nerves like going up and mixing your first couple shows? Were they bigger shows, smaller shows?
Man, I still panic every time I get behind a console. I still get major anxiety every time I get behind a console. So that has never went away, but it was definitely bigger when I was first starting, because it's like I knew kind of what I was doing, but I didn't know as much as I do now, like of not necessarily the terminology, but the correct way to do things. But yeah, there was definitely a lot of anxiety back when I first started. I mean, it's calmed down now, as I said before, like being in a group of 10 people versus mixing in a crowd of 10,000s of people. It's still there, but it's kind of just winded down.
Now, you were doing a little bit of some local shows when it came to like your dad's band and some other people like that. Was that like your touch in the water to figure things out before you start doing a bigger scale, or was it kind of bigger scale and then backwards?
No, it was the smaller scale, and then it kind of just drastically took off from there. So yeah, I started working. I started working for Hooligan, I want to say back in the late 2020, maybe early 2021. I started working with them. My dad got me my first console when I was what would that be now? I'm 21 now, so 4 years ago I would have been like 16,
I remember
17.
him sending me the photos of the console.
Yeah. And I sadly I just sold it, but I got a different console that'll do what I want it to do now. But yeah, my dad got me my first console for Christmas, and that kind of just took off from there. And I want to say like 2 months later, my dad was like, hey, do you want to come out and be our monitor engineer? I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Actually, was one of your first shows engineer? When me and you did an open mic night? Was that like one of your first?
It probably,
because I remember you bought this big mixer and you're like, I'm going to host, and you brought like this fucking $10,000 speaker for an open mic night. And you're
that was, I think it was close to one of my first ones, because I had a hoodie on that at that time with my logo on it. So I think I was definitely still fresh. Green, as people call it.
That was the first time I ever hosted open mic too. So that was something for both of us. I still do those at Black Diamond.
That is true. Yes, you do.
I don't bring a big mixer. Yeah,
I know.
We got to link up for old times soon.
We do. That was, but no, that open mic night, the first one that we did was probably, I want to say maybe like a 5th time I've done it or something like that. Maybe a little bit more. I can't really remember. But no, my dad asked me to be their monitor engineer like 2 months after I got my console. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck that is. But Eddie, very thankful for Eddie. He has taught me a lot and has got me a bunch of places where I don't think I could get by myself.
Yeah.
So it was, weirdly enough, I think it was, I can't remember. It might have been at the Pottsville Zone, if you remember, if you know the Pottsville Zone. I think it was there. and Eddie came to help me out and like kind of like ran me through some things. I was like, oh shit, okay, like I understand this. I can do this. I did that for a solid, I want to say year maybe, and just kind of learned the ropes from some people. A great family friend of mine, Greg Semenko, kind of took me under his wing as well, and like let me do some shows for him when I was first starting out, and like even taking me on some things and kind of showing me, you know, the way of the life at that point, because I didn't have a clue. So he is definitely one of my influences and one of my best mentors that I have at this point. And I am grateful to have a lot, you know, at a young age. But I did that for a solid year, and then I think I started mixing front of house a little bit after that, not really too much. And for the people who are wondering what monitor, like a monitor tech and like a front house tech is a monitor technician or a monitor engineer mixes for the band. So most of the time, if it's a professional band, they'll either have a wedge in front of them, like just a speaker in front of them, or they'll wear in-ears. So a lot of the bands I work with now wear in-ears. So I'm in charge of pretty much making a mix for them and giving them what they want to hear. So like I said, I did that about 16,
now
17.
does each person's in-ears, can you adjust it according to what they want? Like,
yeah, and that's exact. Yeah.
So like the drummer doesn't want to hear the guitar.
What the guitar? Well, yeah, correct. So, but
Yeah.
and everybody's mixes is different, and like I can go through and, you know, go through what they want and vice versa, what they don't want. But everybody tends to usually have different mixes every time, and it can get very congested. Last year, so Music Fest in Bethlehem is one of the biggest festivals that I do a year.
Yeah.
Through the company that I work for, and last year I had a fucking tremendous time. Not anything too bad, but the first 2 days of the festival is kind of like I don't want to say a breaking point, but like something to reflect back on. It was like, okay, like I can do this. Like, okay, this isn't too bad, because I'd go from a solo act or like an acoustic trio into like a fucking 13 to 15 piece salsa band, and everybody wants to hear different shit on stage. And it's like, at this point I have 40 mics because I got congas and a bunch of horns and shit. So
you're
with
miking up ghosts, they have like 48
no,
members.
seriously, yeah. So like throwing a bunch of mics out there and making sure everything, you know, works together, and I'm not feeding back on anything. And that's kind of like the hardest part, is trying not to get feedback, because everybody hates feedback. Nobody likes to hear that shit.
Yeah. So growing up, were you like falling in love with this industry and stuff like that, and doing all that? Like growing up, were you always into music? Was it something like, if you would have guessed yourself this is what you were going to be doing, like how off or how close are you to what you thought you were going to be?
I am so far off. I am so far off of what I wanted to be when I was younger. I mean, as you know, we were looking for pictures to put for a thumbnail.
Yeah.
I played baseball my whole life. I didn't really do much music wise. Actually, no, I did. I was in the choir for a lot of my elementary and high school years, and then I was in the band for some of my elementary years. So like music was always obviously there. But I always wanted to be a physical therapist or like a physical trainer of some sort. Like I wanted to stay in sports. Like I wanted to be like a PT for baseball or football or whatever it was. And then COVID hit, and that kind of put me where I am now.
So. Yeah, a bunch of random ass podcasts in your living room during the pandemic.
Yeah, no, seriously, that's like, it was some weird shit. Like, and it just took me on a whole different route. And I'm very grateful and thankful every day that I get to do what I do, because a lot of people want to be in this position, but not too many people do it, or they just do it on the side. They don't take it as a profession.
Yeah. When did you realize, like, really start finding yourself in the industry? Like when you're like, oh, okay, I could do this by myself, or maybe having that confidence where you're like, okay, I belong here.
It kind of just started happening not too long ago. I got a lot more responsibilities at work over the past few months, which is like hanging PA systems and things like that, because that's very important. The way a PA system is hung determines how much coverage is in the crowd. You know what I mean? So, like, you can absolutely hang it and you can fuck it up really bad, and it's not going to be good, and you're going to have to tear it all down and do it again and keep doing it until you get it right. So yeah, it's the confidence thing. It kind of just started happening a little bit ago, that I was able to like actually sit down and think, it's like, okay, like I feel okay. I feel comfortable doing this. Like, I don't always have to double check my work. I mean, I still do double check my work just because I don't want to mess anything up, because then that just causes a whole bunch of issues.
Yeah. I was just at a show on Friday night, last Friday. We went to go see Coheed and Cambria.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And got the Stage XL or whatever,
Yep.
like the outdoor
Club XL or something like
Club
that.
XL, but like the outdoor side of it.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at it, I was like, this is a small, like,
yeah, it did look like a small rig. I seen it. Yeah.
It sounded so good. Whoever does a sound for that venue does a really good job. Like, that might have been one of the best sounding concerts I've ever heard. Like, the vocals, I mean, the bands before it, I'm not making fun of any style of music, but it was very like,
right.
I was like, I hate this. I don't, it's not my style. But Coheed sounded amazing.
Oh yeah, they're fucking phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, is there a band, like, so you're doing this for a while, you're doing these cool things, and I'm sure there's times where you're like, I don't want to listen to mariachi all night long, or, you know what I mean? No disrespect to that music, but is there a band that you're like, hey, you're working with this band, you're like, oh, I've been a fan of these guys for a while, I'm excited for this?
Yes, and it was it was last year. So growing up, Switchfoot was one of my all-time favorite bands, right? I still listen to them a lot, you know, still to this day I listen to them quite a bit. But last year, I do a company I work for, we do a summer concert series down in Quakertown at the Univest Performance Center. And they bring in, you know, some B national stuff. So like nothing too crazy, but like still really good bands that people remember and people enjoy. So they got Switchfoot, and we were like, I don't know, a week away or like a few days away. And we just got the tech writer, and we are looking at it, and they're like, oh, Switchfoot needs a monitor engineer. And I was like, oh shit, this is going to be my, you know, my time. Like, this is, you know, I'm going to be able to, you know, sit back and think and realize, okay, like this is happening. So that was probably my moment of, you know, my confidence boost, to say the least. But yeah, Switchfoot was probably the band.
Did you get good feedback from the band afterwards? They talked to you?
I did.
Talk to them or meet them?
Yeah. So it's the funniest thing, because it's the wildest thing too. So that day we got everything there. Like, I set up my world and everything like that with like the in-ears and stuff. And they pull up in, it was a fly date for them because they're nowhere near us. I think they're in like California or something like that. It was a fly date for them. So most of the stuff I think was like rental gear, like backline and stuff like that. And they pulled up in the van, and they come on the stage, they introduce themselves and things like that. And it was just a great experience. Like, those people were the most down to earth, genuine people. Like, it was just a great experience, and it was a great fucking time. But we did sound check, and they were all barefoot and baggy clothes, you know, and they were very nice. Cause the front house guy that they traveled with had a show file already, like with their monitors pretty much dialed in. All you have to do is kind of make slight adjustments. They asked for a few adjustments during the first song I think they sound checked with, and it was just great after that. But then before the show, I went back to change all the batteries and the belt packs and like the handhelds and things like that, just to get them ready for the show. And I spent, I think, like 5 minutes back there just talking to him, kind of like the same thing. Like, oh, like he asked me how I got started, what age I got started at, how long I've been doing this for. And at that time, I think I just turned 20, maybe. I think maybe I was still 19. Maybe I just turned 20. So we had a good like 5-minute conversation, and they were very thankful for what I did. They were thankful for my work. But yeah, they were nice people. It was a moment that I'll definitely never forget.
Yeah. Well, what are some setbacks or adversities you had to overcome or still overcome? Does your age play into it? Do people kind of give you a hard, like, have you ever had someone give you a hard time because of what does this 19-year-old kid know about mixing a show?
Yeah. It has definitely happened before. I definitely get some weird looks at sometimes. But you know, it's a normal life thing. It happens everywhere you go. Like I could be working at, a warehouse or working in an office somewhere, and no matter what, somebody is going to look at me and be like, "Oh, this kid's young. What does he know?" You know what I mean? So it definitely happens. There's definitely been some setbacks. I can't really remember what, because I kind of just, if something bad happens, I kind of forget it the next day. You know what I mean? So
have you ever had a show where you felt like maybe they didn't have full trust in you, and then by the end you kind of won them over with your skill?
Yeah, it just happened yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. And when it wasn't with the band either, it was at the venue that we were at. It wasn't really too bad. It was just kind of like one of those situations where I've never gotten frustrated doing what I'm doing. Like I've never had a bad moment to where it's like, fuck, I really want to get out of here. Like I don't even want to do this show. But I got very frustrated yesterday, and I think it goes back to the age thing, like you said. Like people look at me differently because I'm so young. But no, it definitely happened yesterday. I was very fucking frustrated, and I'm glad it's over. But it was a great show. They came up to me afterwards and said, "Hey, it sounded great," and I was like, "Yeah, I know it did. Thank you." But I can't be cocky because I'm going to fuck up at some point, and I know it. I might have not had, mixed the best show of that I think I could have yesterday, but there was people up, there was people dancing, there was waitresses dancing and singing while they're serving food or serving beer or something. So that kind of, relieved some stress after I got a few gin and tonics in me. But yeah, it was great. It was fun. It was a great time.
Is there any bands out there or musicians that you would like to mix, like dream mixes or something you would, or maybe one you could have, but maybe it just kind of slipped through your fingers?
That's a weird, touchy subject. One of my all-time favorite musicians is Joe Bonamassa. He's phenomenal. That is the only concert I pay money to go see. That will be the only concert that I probably ever will pay to see. But he's probably the one. But his sound guy, his front of house guy that he has now is just phenomenal. I've been to a few shows now, and everyone has sounded the same. I mean, musicians are great. Like his backing band is phenomenal. But yeah, that's probably the one. I don't know. I don't really think about that stuff.
Have you mixed the Crowbot show yet?
I haven't. There has been talks. There still is talks. We just haven't been able to make it work.
Now we're gonna pull the curtain back a little bit, because I went going to see Coheed, right? I was like, I really liked them, right? I enjoyed them. I had a good time
they're
with
great.
them. But like the whole time I was watching it, I always kind of compare every band I go see to Crowbot, only because I wish like they had more love and they were bigger than what they were, because I think they deserve that.
No,
and it's just like you go see Crowbot, and essentially they're plugging in and they play.
Yeah, they're dudes. They're just like normal dudes.
And I'm not taking anything away from Coheed or anything, but like there's distortion on his voice, there's echo on his voice, there's this going on, there's this, and Brandon's just kind of like, give him a microphone and he's going out and doing his thing. There's not a lot of like there's not a lot of tricks to the show, like, but when you learn what those tricks are at shows, you're like, oh, like now doing sound, is that something you have to do as well? Like, oh, I have to know how to put the echo in here, I have to know how to like echo a line here, or is that kind of something that's already kind of predetermined in the mix?
No, so there definitely is
like cues almost.
All songs sound different. There's like, say example, it's easy to do this, but like mixing my dad's new band. I don't want to say new because he's there a few months, but new to me. I mix them a lot, and they play a lot of different stuff. They play a lot of different genres, from like pop to like rap mixes and rock music, and kind of just a bunch of stuff. But like I said before, all music sounds the same. Every song will sound the same. You know, there's different delay times, like for vocals. So like delays are a lot different. Reverbs are a lot different. Compression on things are different. Distortion on things are different. Everything's kind of different. So it's up to you as a sound person to either make that song sound like the recording or what.
I remember we were at a show and you weren't mixing the first band, but you were mixing another band. I won't say which one it was because they may or may not be local. And I remember we were listening to it and I just kept making a joke to him, like, just add echo. Everyone sounds better with echo. Just add echo. And
what the first was that?
I can tell you exactly what it was, but I don't want to say it on camera because I don't want to incriminate us for possibly making fun of somebody, but not making fun of them. But they went up and they sang, and I was like, they need more echo.
Huh. Was that like, recent? Wasn't it recent?
It was a couple of years ago.
Was it? Fuck.
Maybe a year or two ago. It was recent.
Yeah.
And I was like, give him more echo. Give him more echo.
It'll come to me because I kind of remember what's going on here.
Yeah, it was wild. And you're just like you're like, I can only do so much. I'm not a miracle worker.
Yeah, you can only do so much.
We kind of asked like when you feel like you hit your peak, and you kind of answered that when we jumped ahead a little bit. But what are some key moments or accomplishments that you feel like you've hit at this point?
Key moments and key accomplishments. There's been a lot.
How about the fact you moved out of your house before you're 21 years old?
You know what?
I guess bought your first car full. You know what I mean? Like,
So no, like
those music is paying for your life.
Absolutely,
like, that's awesome for someone at your age, man.
Yeah, I moved out way before I turned 21. I bought my car at the age of 18. Like those are definitely some things that, you know, people can't do. I bought my TV behind me. Like there's a lot of things that I buy, but I also do save a lot of my money. I'm very smart with what I spend. I try to save as much as I can just because I want to buy a house by the time I'm 24, which me and my dad just talked about yesterday. But no, there has definitely been a lot. I invest a lot of my money back into music and back into this world of production. But no, there's too much to even think about, you know, and I'm very grateful for everything.
You're still very early in the game.
Oh my God, I'm so early. I've been doing this professional for like maybe 4 years, and I've been working with the company that I'm at for like 3 years now. So it's like I'm very early into this, and I don't want to say there's nobody my age doing this because there are, but there's not many.
Yeah. Now, what is the progression of this? Like you start off, like let's just say like a band, right? You're in a band and then you get picked up by a label. Like can like how you were saying before, like Joe has a guy that like tours with this band, like he becomes their house guy, he's their sound guy. So is that like the next progression for you? Is like a band reaches out and goes, all right, we want Harry he travels with us, he's part of our band, he's our sound guy, he goes with us everywhere. Is that like the next level of progression of what you're doing?
Yeah, like I said when we talked off camera, there's some things in the works in the next few months. But yeah, no, that's definitely one of my next goals is to try and see the other side of the industry, not you know, going to a venue and hanging a PA for somebody else to mix on. Like my goal is the opposite of that. Like I want other people to hang PA for me to mix and things like that. So yeah, no, that's definitely one of the things that I'm working towards now. But it's not, I don't want to say it's not that hard. It's not that hard for me because of the connections that I have, and I'm grateful for a lot of people that are in my life that, you know, are touring a lot of the months throughout the years. But it's all based on who you know. It's more of who you know and who you are as a person more than how good you are at your job. And like you said before, you've gone to shows of big time people and you're like, man, this sounds like fucking shit. He probably got the job because A, he knew somebody, or B, he's just fun to be around.
So that is probably the best advice that Eddie has ever said. He goes, "You don't always have to be good. Just be a good hang.
Seriously, but
be someone that
is what it is.
Like,
and the one thing that he has always told me too, he's like, just be a nice, genuine fucking person. Because if you're an asshole and you're a dick, nobody's gonna want to take you on a tour bus for 4 months straight and then have to fucking deal with you. So, but I've never had that problem. Like a lot of people say, I'm humble, and I don't have too much of an ego. I don't look at myself any better than the next person. I mean, there's always room for improvement, and there's always room for failure as well. But yeah, no, always be a good person, because that's 9 times out of 10 gonna land you at your next position. That's gonna land you at your next job.
Yeah, that's wild. Who are some influences or role models that you have in your life?
I already mentioned one before earlier on. His name's Greg Semenko. He did sound for my grandfather's band way back when it was the Rocket 88s. He kind of took me under his wing. So he mixes for like Toolshed Jack. He does some other pretty big festivals around here. Ron Krieger, who was the first person that I pretty much got in, like the first or second person I got in contact with, because he works for my dad too for Hooligan. He was their sound guy for the longest time, still is. Me and him kind of run like a joint kind of like audio production thing, so like we both kind of do it. He's one of them. One of my coworkers, his name is Mark. He's phenomenal. He's taught me a lot of what I know in the professional world, and not just audio things. You know what I mean? Like, he's mainly an install person and installs a bunch of rigs and at churches and high schools and like a lot of different things. And he got me, actually, I have it right next to me because I read it all the time. He got me this book, and it's called Between the Lines, and it's Concepts in Sound System Design and Alignment. This is what it looks like. I read this almost every night before bed, and it's such a good fucking read. But he taught me, deploying a PA system. Like you said before, you just went to a Coheed show and you looked at the PA and it looked small, but it sounded fucking amazing. It's all depending on how it's deployed. It's all like deployment.
It's insane. Like, old shows had all the back lines, and like how we go see shows now, and it's the amps in the back, and that kind of pushes everything out.
Yeah.
And now everything just those like 2 stacks. How like this insane photo that you. So this is what he sends me. He's like, I said, Harry, I need a photo of you for the thumbnail, and he sends me this photo, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it as a joke. Like, I'm gonna make that the thumbnail, but it's just like 2 of those on each side, and it's everything like. And it,
but like as you see, and as you see that picture, that's what I'm doing right there. I am literally pinning the back of my PA hang to get like the bottom box to pretty much hit the front of the crowd. I was probably tying on some cables or something like that at that point. But no, it's pretty much PA systems are all depending on how they're deployed and how well they're tuned and how well they're aligned together. So he was
Mark so much, like the Coheed show. It only seemed like the only speakers on stage were those speakers. Like,
probably
everything else on stage, they had so much. Like the stage was empty. It was like it was like their stage look, their screen, a drum set, a little signing spot like he can go behind and play the keyboard, and the rest of the stage was wide open. The only thing on it was mic stands.
And that's kind of where the world has been going in the past few years. Like, everything's, as like we call it in this world, as a direct, like it's a direct signal. There's not too many amps. Like, people aren't using guitar amps or bass amps really much anymore. Everything is kind of just a direct input from like a pedal board, say like a Head Rush or a Kemper or something like that. Not too many people are using amps. But the people that are like, it's still the same. It's still the same sound. I don't notice any different from like miking a guitar cab to, having a direct signal. But no, that's definitely the way that the world is going right now.
Yeah, it frees up a lot of spaces on stage. Is there any other? We kind of cut you off. Any more role models or influences?
A lot of people in the industry, honestly. Pretty much just anybody that's doing it on a national level. You know what I mean? Like, what I'm trying to work to myself as now, it's like pretty much, like I said, that's it. That's literally it. Anybody who's doing this at the national level is who I'm looking up to.
So the layman's like myself who I like this band or this, is there like, now that you're in the industry, is there like, oh, this sound guy is the sound guy, like for the podcaster world, like we have like, oh, this guy's the best, like, but if you're not in the industry you wouldn't know, like,
right? Yeah.
like who are some sound guys that you like look up to or you watch or you study from?
But
or is that like
that's the thing. I've never really looked at that. There's a few names that I can list off, like Robert Scoville. He mixes a lot of people, and he's very knowledgeable and good at what he does. That's like the only name that I really know that's huge that I like really look at a lot. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of others, but they're just not coming to me right now. But
that's fair.
That's really it.
What goals do you have set for yourself personally or in your industry?
Goals personally, get back into a better mind state of things and go back to how I was young with I still have the drive now, but it's not as much as I was younger, if that makes sense. Like I had, not like I don't have anything to prove now, but I had a lot to prove when I was younger. And I still do now, but I got a lot of goals set for myself and things that I want to pursue with my life, not just musically, but kind of personally, which it's nothing different from the next person. Everybody, wants to grow up and have a future, and everybody wants to do things. But no, I want to tour. I want to tour and see how I like it. If I don't like it, then I'll just come back to doing what I'm doing. I've also been, maybe thinking of getting like a house position, like a venue position, to where I just go and do things there. I don't have to load in a bunch of stuff every day.
Like a Vegas residency.
Right. Yeah.
Can you move to Vegas so I can come visit all the time and just have a reason to be in Vegas?
I would love to be in Vegas. I would fucking love it. Not really. I probably would hate it.
The fucking dome. What if you got the spear?
You know what? That would be fucking nuts because so one of my coworkers was working something down there or over there and got a chance to go to the Sphere, and he was telling me like, dude, you gotta fucking go. There's so many speakers and it sounds like they're talking right behind you, but you look back and there's another fucking dude there. Like it's fucking, he said it was crazy. Yeah. But that's definitely one place. I watched shows,
and you don't even see the speakers. The way they hide them with the screens are unbelievable.
Yeah, you don't fucking see them at all, and it's crazy. It's crazy how they do it.
Show get out in there.
That would probably be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
That would probably be pretty cool.
When you going back to your goals and stuff, when you first got into this, and obviously you come from a family of so many talented people that have done so much in music, was that like did you see that as a challenge? Did you see that as like I don't want to say a competition. I don't think anyone in that family sees each other as competition. If they do, it seems like it's a healthy competition. But I mean, like you're so young, and you're probably, I don't want to say like more. So I'm not ranking anybody, but like you have made music a job for yourself before you're able to legally drink, and like I don't know if there's anyone else in your family who probably knocked it out of the park that soon.
None of us really look at it that way, honestly. Like it's never been a competition.
Did you ever put that burden on yourself though? Like, oh my god, like I want to get into this, but my family is so popular. Like how you're like before, I want to pick up drums or I want to do this, and then like I even said, like, is that what you want to do? Because even when you were drumming, like you liked it, but it never felt like it was your thing. That's not what it was,
right? Not necessarily. I never had that feeling. Only because I never really had to feel that way. Because I mean, the whole family, we're all super close, and we all help each other no matter what it is. And that's kind of just been the way that it's been. Nobody really looks at anybody better. It's one of those things. I think we all just kind of push each other more. And my grandfather has done so much in this industry, so I look up to him and what he does. But everybody's kind of on a different path of music stuff. Like Eddie is a guitar tech for Anthrax and Guar. I'm doing production stuff full time where I'm doing sound and stuff, and then Billy's touring and playing guitar and handguns right now, and my dad's playing drums and a bunch of bands
He's helped
and playing
raising like
all up.
he's helping some dude raise like 8 kids or something like that.
Yeah. But he's doing a lot. Like Chris does his thing with, you know, t-shirt designing and t-shirt printing and still playing at the same time. And, you know, I don't want to leave anybody out. Carrie still plays a lot. So everybody kind of still does their thing, and we all just get together when we can. And, you know, I still go out to see, when I'm home, I still go out to see my grandfather play at Coney Island all the time.
Yeah.
So I always make it a trip to do that. But like, even if like Eddie's playing or something like that, or Eddie's local, I always go there to see him.
I'm gonna miss
So-
I'm gonna miss emo night because I have a show that night.
Oh,
But
no.
I've never been to like I only been to a Comic-Con once, like a
Yeah.
con, and there's a con happening, but they're doing a wrestling show at like
Oh, that's
inside the
nice.
con,
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
I'm doing commentary during a
fucking nice.
Yeah, I'm
That's awesome.
stoked. Yeah, I'm
That's
like,
cool.
check that off the box.
Yeah,
That'll already
great.
happen by the time you guys hear that. But yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some other interests you have outside of your industry or hobbies you like to do? So when you're not diving into music or succumb to the world of music, what are you doing to separate from that and find some interpiece or hobbies or interests that you like to do?
This is what it is. It's the only thing I do. I literally hate when I say this. I don't do anything else outside of this.
No video games, no.
No.
You don't have like a phone game you play, something to just erase your mind from that for a little bit.
Nope.
Yikes.
As much as I
You
don't
gotta pick
hate
up
to say it.
hit knitting or something. You know
Yeah, I
what
know.
I
I don't want to hate. I don't want to say I hate it. I definitely wish I had hobbies of things. Like, even when I'm not going, like working, I'm still going to concerts. I'm still going out doing something with music. But like I watch movies. Like, I go to work, I come home, I watch
You're a movie
movies.
buff.
Yeah, but I watch the same movie almost every night. So like, I can't say I watch movies. I watch a movie.
What do you watch?
It's either School of Rock, which is my favorite fucking movie, or it's
Music
the
movie?
Star, or it's A Star Is Born, which is also a music movie.
I've never seen that one.
It's really good. It's with Brady. It's a remake.
Oh, I know who's in it.
It's so good. It's
the
so
song
good.
on
It's
the
sad.
radio
It's
made me
fucking
not
sad.
want to watch the movie.
It's sad. It's fucking sad. It's
all right,
sad.
maybe we'll review that movie. You can come back for a movie review. We'll
Oh
do
my
A
god,
Star Is Born.
absolutely. Yeah, I'll probably be bawling my eyes out the whole time, but it's such a fucking great movie. I enjoy it so much.
Well, I'll kind of reword this. So you said you go to a lot of concerts. Who's someone that you've seen recently, or someone that just really stands out? You're like, oh, I love seeing them live, or they were a good show.
I just worked with them not too long ago. There's a few of them actually that I was kind of blown away with. Blues Traveler was amazing. If you remember the song Run Around, that was like their big breakout song.
You want to give me a run around?
Yeah, like they're
good.
They were phenomenal, and they were phenomenal live. I work with Get the Let Out a lot, and
I want to see them.
I love Led Zeppelin music. Like, Led Zeppelin is probably one of.
Is John Dameter still their guitar tech?
Yeah. We just worked together on Friday. I just had them on Friday.
Oh, I miss him. I haven't seen him forever. He's always like, I can get you tickets. Do you want to come see a show?
Yeah, seriously. Like,
I'm never free, but I gotta take him up on it. I want to see them.
If you enjoy Led Zeppelin,
Love Zeppelin.
Oh, dude, it's a fucking. You have to go see them. You have to. They're so good. They, like, you close your eyes and it's fucking Jimmy Page singing. Like, it's Jimmy Page.
Really?
It's fucking Robert Plant. Like, it's fucking John Bonham. They're fucking phenomenal at what they do. They don't. The one thing that I like the most about them is they don't go off of the looks. Like, they don't try to look like them. There's 4 people in Led Zeppelin, and there's like 6 people on stage for Get the Let Out, but they go towards how
Sounding
the album
authentic.
sounded. Right.
Yeah.
They go to how the album sounded, and that's what they worry about, and they do a really good freaking job at it. Like,
Nice.
really good job. But they're fucking amazing. there's so many people that I worked with this year, like even seen that I was just kind of like, damn, they're good.
Coheed, I had no idea what, like, I could have been hanging out with the band and never known, because I didn't know what any of them looked like.
Yeah, I know. I seen your post.
Yeah, and then I only song I knew was, actually I knew two songs. I knew, and
Oh,
they're
I know.
both in
Yeah,
rock band.
their
Ken
biggest
Speed
one.
and
Yeah,
Welcome Home. Yeah,
yeah,
I could totally cosplay that guy if I tease my hair out enough.
yeah.
Chubby
So
dude with the long hair.
actually, super cool thing about this. So the guitar player Travis, I'm friends with him on Facebook. He's in a band called LS Dunes, with like Anthony Green from Circus Survive and Seosin, and then Tucker from the band Thursday, Tim from the band Thursday, and then Frank from My Chemical Romance. And they have a band together, and I suggest you check them out if you like. You like the punk music, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
punk
What are they
rock
called?
stuff. LS Dunes. They're
DUNS?
yeah, DUNES.
Yes. LS
Yeah.
Dunes.
Yeah.
You know what band Eddie got me into? I seen them when they tore the Crowbot, and I fell in love with them. The 68.
Oh, the 68's fucking phenomenal too.
So good. Like,
And
no, yeah.
yeah, so I went the one time Eddie was playing bass. You know who really blew me out of the fucking water? Who they also shared a stage with?
Oh,
Fucking Steel Panther.
oh, I love Steel Panther.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a
dude.
no-brainer. I thought you were gonna
Dude.
say the Damn Things. I
The
thought all
damn things are also really good too.
really good. Really,
Yeah,
really
but
good.
no, fucking Steel Panther. They
Love Steel. I've
fucking
seen them
blew me away.
5-6 times.
Oh damn,
Yeah.
way more than I have. I fucking
Yeah, I
love
love
them.
Steel
I'd
Panther.
go to see them. I'd go to see them in concert any day of the week.
If they ever come in the area and you're home, I'll go with you.
I'm going. I'm definitely going.
I've seen them so many times. I'd seen them do a whole cover set, like where they only did a cover tour, and they covered
really?
the whole. They didn't even do their own. They did a little bit of their own stuff, but they covered the whole night.
Damn.
It was
That's
awesome.
That's cool. That's really fucking
Yeah.
cool. Because they're
And then
good musicians.
I was supposed to see them first time with Crowbot, and then got kicked out 2 songs
Oh yeah,
in.
that's right. I forgot.
Yep. And then I never got to see them again with Steel
That's
Panther.
funny.
I missed them the second time around. So I
man.
have yet to see Steel Panther and Crowbot at the same time.
Yeah,
which
no,
it'll never happen again, probably, no in my life.
it probably will. They're fucking. That was a great show.
Yeah, they were great. Words of encouragement for someone who is, trying to chase their dreams, or maybe a beginner at something you're into within the music scene.
Chase it and don't stop. That's a lot of people, young or old, still have goals and things that they wanted to do when they were younger and never did it just because, they didn't chase it. I was fortunate enough to, have a lot of people behind me, but also I didn't at the same time. Like, I remember when I first started this in high school, I got made fun of a lot for it. Nobody did it. Nobody did anything music wise. You know what I mean? Well, definitely like not trying to, I don't want to say anything music wise because there's still band kids, there's choir kids and stuff like that. But nobody tried to take it the route that I took it. And I definitely, got some backlash for it when I was younger. But I had a good solid group of friends when I was in high school, and they told me like, no, dude, don't stop. Like, you never know what can happen. You know what I mean? Like, if this is what you want to do, just chase it.
The highlight of their weekend is they got done work and they went to the bar, hung out with their friends, and seen a cover band. Yeah. You're going to be touring the world chasing your dreams.
Right. And, I look back at it now and like, no hate to anybody. But I stepped up and, did something that I wanted to do and pursued the things that I wanted to do since I was young. And I didn't want to fucking work in a warehouse. That's one thing that I told myself I would never do. I will never work in a warehouse and I'll never work in an office. Just because it's so boring. There's so many other things that you could do in this world and like in your life. And those two things are something that I'll never do. But no, I got a lot of backlash when I was younger, and I kind of just took that as, a push in the back, like it made me want it even more. And I still think about it all the time. I really, it touches I don't want to say it touches my heart because that sounds, cheesy, and I hate that shit. but it does. It makes me feel a different type of way because I just look back and I was like, oh, you motherfuckers! Like, I fucking did it. I fucking did it.
You're
So it
just
makes
getting
me feel
started,
great.
brother.
Yeah, it
You're just
makes
getting
me feel
started.
great. So no, if you want to do something and you're young and you want to do something that's, you know, people think is out of this world, just do it.
Yeah.
Try your hardest, do your best, you know.
A lot of
Even
sacrifice gonna come though.
oh
You're gonna
yeah,
have to
absolutely.
sacrifice.
A
Nothing
lot of
comes nothing comes for
no.
free, nothing comes easy. You're gonna lose some shit. You're gonna lose things you fucking didn't think you're gonna lose or that you didn't want to lose. But if you're gonna chase your dreams, it all comes with the territory.
Like we talked about earlier.
Yep.
So it's rough, it's tough. Sacrifices are definitely the biggest thing. I've definitely lost a lot in my life that, you know, I still
Time
think
away
about.
from friends and family
Right.
and loved
And
ones.
you know, I don't have many friends left nowadays. You know, I obviously have my roommates that are fucking best. I love fucking Matt to death. I love Neil to death. But like, I don't talk to many people that I went to school with that I was really thought I was really close with. I still have like a few of my friends that I went to school with that were older than me. But they were the ones that really helped me push myself. But you are, if you have goals and you want to chase them and you want to do good things, you're going to lose a lot of things in your life. And that's just what happens. It's the sacrifices. Yeah. And if you're willing to take them to try to do what you want to do, then do it and don't look back, because that's one thing I never did. And I'm so very grateful for that.
Yeah. What are you grateful for? And are you happy?
Happy in what sense?
I don't know. That's how
is that like a life thing, or is that like anything. A music thing? I'm grateful for a lot. I'm grateful, obviously, to wake up every day and do what I love. I'm grateful, you know, to do what I love and, you know, have a roof over my head. I'd have a roof over my head at my parents' house, but it feels great to, you know, be able to do this at a young age. Mm-hmm. But I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful for every opportunity that comes my way, and I take it and I never look back. Even if I mess up or something like that, you never know what's going to happen. But am I happy? It's a tough thing. Not every day. I'm not happy. I'm definitely not happy every day, but I'm definitely more happier than I am like upset or sad or, you know, angry. Mm-hmm. I still wake up angry at the world because I don't want to fucking get out of bed. But I love what I do, and it kind of, you know, drives me to keep doing it. But no, I would say I'm happy. I have a lot of stress. I deal with a lot of stress, anxiety, and stuff like that. So it takes a toll. This industry takes a toll on not only me, but it seems like everybody else too. But yeah, I'd say I'm happy. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm not done. You know, I'm not going to stay in this position forever. I'm going to, you know, want to do bigger things and do better things. So I keep working harder every day. But yeah, I'd say I'm happy for the most part.
Yeah, when you meet all these cool and famous people, be like, hey, I know this guy who's really trying to do good interviews, and I think he does a good job. You should reach out to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bro, I just want to say I am so fucking proud of you, and I love you so much. Like, you, listen, I have my little brother, right? But there's a few other people in the world I kind of put in that little brother category, and you're definitely one of them, man. I've watched you grow for a long time, and like meeting you and your family, like. I'm proud of you, dude. We sat down and I was like, I said, how is this kid gonna do a fucking hour interview? I was like, he doesn't talk. He doesn't talk.
I didn't talk at all, and I brought my dad with me too. But
you did a good job. But yeah, I feel like that conversation, you kind of needed that a little bit. You needed that, like, this is what I want. Like, it was kind of like you kind of finding yourself at that point in time. And I think it was good to kind of put you in that right direction to be like, I don't want to be doing this. I think I can do this. And we kept saying, like, you're young now. Do it now. Don't wait. Like,
yeah, definitely. It absolutely helped me. I was a shy person at that time. Even you said it yourself. Like, I was super shy. I didn't fucking want to say a word. But it got me out of my comfort shell. And it helped me a lot. And honestly, thank you for that, because
I'm proud of you, man.
It put me into something. Yeah, it put me into something to, not only talk about my life, because I don't talk about my life much.
Yeah.
I don't. I feel no need to. Like, if you want to know, absolutely ask me. I'll tell you everything that I've done, worked for, whatever. But I'm not gonna go to myself, to like a random person, or even to anybody at that, and just be like, "Oh, dude, guess who I worked with?" Blah 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 blah. I hate it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Even like, I just sent you that picture today. I haven't sent you a link for anything, just because I don't know if you want to find it. Like,
Well, where
it's out
can
there.
people find you?
It's out there. I have a website called collinsaudio.org. I have a Facebook at Harry Collins, and then I also have Instagram at _ Collins and Harrison G MF Collins on Instagram.
They will all be linked below. Please go go follow, support this kid in his journey. Buy a t-shirt or whatever he's got going on over there. If he still has his hoodies up for sale, go buy one.
I do not. I should put them back up though.
You should. I never got one. I right when you start selling them, like my life fell apart. I had no money, so I gotta get it. I gotta get one.
I'm trying to get my Uncle Chris to make them for me, because I don't want to go through.
I'm trying to get enough money to get a bundle of shirts and give him business. I want to get hats done, actually.
I know, they're fucking sick. Yeah, he's doing a good job.
He's fucking awesome. I love him to death. Your whole I love your whole fucking family. They're just amazing people.
That's what we do.
If you ever guys want to adopt me, I'll gladly. I'll become. I'll change my name. It'll be the AC
ABC. No, it's gonna be the ABC.
I can't keep Blackwell. I gotta change the. I wouldn't be a junior anymore. It would just be the AC podcast.
Yeah.
Anthony Collins podcast.
Yeah. But no, I appreciate you for taking the time out and being able to talk to, me and ask me about my journey and things like that. So
it's good to catch
not
up.
only means a lot. Oh my God. Yeah. It's really fucking good to catch up. Honestly, it's fucking great. I don't have much time.
I might have some open mics coming up very soon in Frackville, maybe in September. So
okay.
We should,
if I'm open, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't have that big console anymore, but
no, I use a speaker they bought me. They bought me a little
that's
speaker.
Right.
Yeah, they're amazing. I love the Black Diamond. Go support Black Diamond as well.
Yes, please.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you once again, Harry. This was a blast. Everyone, go support the links below. Support this kid. So follow his journey. He's doing amazing things, and just like his family, let's end with some music by the Converse Kid. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.